Sarah Chen's boots crunched against the crystalline ice as she made her way through Europa's deepest mining tunnel. The emergency beacon's persistent ping echoed through her helmet's comm system, drawing her further from the main colony than regulation allowed. After 15 years as chief mining engineer of the Europa Deep Core facility, she knew better than to venture solo into unmapped tunnels. But the signals pattern wasn't matching any of their equipment signatures, and that made it too intriguing to ignore. The tunnel walls pulsed with a bioluminescent blue glow from the native bacteria colonies, providing just enough light for her to navigate without depleting her suit's main lights. Her hand scanner showed increasing electromagnetic interference, distorting its readings into useless static. Whatever was generating that beacon was putting out serious power. "Control, I'm at junction E279, Sarah reported, marking another nav point in the colony's mapping system. "Signal's getting stronger, but there's some kind of interference. Going to push another 100 meters. The response came back garbled, broken by the same interference that was affecting her equipment. "Turn back. Safety protocols. Immediate return." Sarah hesitated. The rational choice was to return with a proper survey team. But something about the signal's rhythm felt deliberate, almost like it was designed to attract attention without triggering standard emergency protocols. After spending nearly half her life on this frozen moon, she learned to trust her instincts about such things. "Control, you're breaking up. We'll maintain position and await backup." The lie came easily. She'd apologize later if she turned out to be wrong. She continued deeper into the tunnel, following the signal's increasingly urgent pulse. The passage narrowed, forcing her to duck under crystalline formations that hadn't existed on yesterday's survey. Europa's ice sheets were constantly shifting, creating and destroying tunnels in their eternal dance. It made mining operations challenging but lucrative. The rare minerals trapped in the ice paid for the massive infrastructure investment needed to maintain a colony here. The beacon's ping suddenly doubled in intensity. Sarah rounded a corner and stopped dead in her tracks. The tunnel opened into a roughly spherical chamber about 20 meters across. At its center sat what could only be a spacecraft, or what remained of one. The vessel was about the size of a standard mining shuttle, its hull composed of a material that seemed to absorb the ambient light rather than reflect it. A jagged gash ran along one side, exposing internal components that pulsed with a dying red glow. "Control, I'm going to need a full recovery team," and Sarah's voice trailed off as movement caught her eye. A figure was slumped against the far wall of the chamber, partially obscured by ice formations. Even in the dim light, she could tell it wasn't human. The alien, there was no other word for it, was roughly humanoid but longer-limbed, its body covered in what appeared to be some kind of environmental suit. Multiple restraints bound it to the ice wall, their construction far more sophisticated than anything in humanity's current arsenal. A soft red light pulsed at its neck in perfect synchronization with the beacon signal. Sarah's training kicked in. First contact protocols were clear: maintain distance, notify authorities, and await specialized teams. The discovery of alien life would reshape human civilization. Every action she took in the next few moments would be studied and analyzed for centuries. The alien's head lifted slightly, and Sarah found herself staring into eyes that were disturbingly human-like in their expression of pain and desperation. The protocols suddenly felt very distant and abstract. "Hold on," she said, knowing the alien couldn't understand but hoping her tone would convey her intent. "I'm going to help you." She approached carefully, scanning the restraints with her mining tools. They appeared to be some kind of energy-based technology, anchored into the ice wall with physical tethers. The alien watched her movements, remaining perfectly still but alert. Sarah noted that despite its obvious distress, it wasn't struggling against the bonds, either from weakness or intelligence. "I'm going to try something," she said, more to calm her own nerves than communicate. She pulled out her mineral cutter, a tool designed to slice through Europa's hardest ice formations. The laser's energy signature might be compatible with the restraint's power source. If she was wrong, She could end up making things much worse. The alien's eyes tracked her movements as she adjusted the cutter settings. She'd need to modulate the beam carefully. Too much power could damage the ice wall and trigger a collapse. Too little would be useless against the advanced technology. Sarah took a deep breath and activated the cutter. The beam struck the nearest restraint's power core. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the alien technology began to respond, its red glow intensifying. Sarah adjusted the beam's frequency, searching for the right resonance. The restraint's glow shifted from red to purple, then blue and finally white. With a soft chime, it deactivated. The alien's arm dropped freely, and it made a sound that Sarah's translator couldn't process, but whose meaning was clear: relief. She quickly moved to the remaining restraints, the process easier now that she'd found the correct frequency. Within minutes, the alien was completely free. It tried to stand but stumbled, clearly weakened. Sarah caught it reflexively, surprised by how light it felt despite its height. The alien's suit was cold to the touch, but seemed to be maintaining some kind of life support function. A crackling burst of static filled her comm system, followed by Control's voice, much clearer now. "Engineer Chen, we've lost your signal for the past 20 minutes. Report status immediately." Sarah looked at the alien, who was now studying her with an intensity that made her skin prickle. She had about 30 seconds before Control would initiate emergency protocols. The alien ship was clearly beyond repair, and in its weakened state, it wouldn't survive long in Europa's harsh environment. The next few words out of her mouth would set in motion events that would change everything. "Control, this is Chen. Had some equipment issues, but I'm heading back now. Nothing significant to report." Another lie, but this time one that felt right. "We'll submit full survey data after equipment maintenance." The alien's posture shifted subtly. Recognition. Understanding. Sarah couldn't be sure, but she got the distinct impression that her choice had just been evaluated and approved. "I'm taking you somewhere safe," she told the alien, gesturing toward the tunnel that led back to her private research station. "Then we can figure out our next move." As they made their slow way through the ice tunnels, Sarah's mind raced with implications. She'd just broken about a dozen international laws and corporate protocols. Her career, possibly her freedom, would be forfeit if this was discovered. But looking at her companion's careful, determined movements, she felt certain of one thing: this wasn't a simple rescue. This was the beginning of something much bigger. The alien touched her arm lightly, stopping their progress. It raised its other hand, and a holographic display appeared between them, showing a series of symbols that shifted and rearranged themselves. Sarah watched in fascination as the alien's written language seemed to deconstruct and rebuild itself, attempting to bridge the gap between their species. Finally, 2 words appeared in recognizable English. "Thank you." Sarah smiled behind her helmet visor. "You're welcome. Though something tells me I'm going to be thanking you before this is over." The alien's response was untranslatable, but its meaning seemed clear enough. They both had much to learn from each other. As they resumed their journey through Europa's ancient ice, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that she'd just altered the course of human history. The only question was, in what direction? The next 3 days tested everything Sarah thought she knew about secrecy and trust. Her private research station, technically off-limits to anyone but her, became a sanctuary for her alien guest. The station was her reward for 15 years of exemplary service, a place where she could pursue personal projects without corporate oversight. Now it served as the perfect hiding place for what might be humanity's first peaceful contact with extraterrestrial intelligence. The alien, who had managed to communicate that its name was something like Venra, proved to be both brilliant and determined. Within hours of arriving at the station, it had jerry-rigged a more sophisticated translation system, using parts from its damaged environmental suit and Sarah's spare comm unit. The resulting device was crude but functional, allowing them to share basic concepts. "Your help, dangerous for you," Venra said through the translator, its multifaceted eyes fixed on Sarah with what she interpreted as concern. "Others will come." Searching. Sarah ran a diagnostic on the station's security systems for the fourth time that day. Who's searching for you? The ones who imprisoned you. The translation device hummed, processing. Servants of the hierarchy. They believe control is peace, order through dominance. Venra's long fingers moved in what Sarah had learned was a gesture of frustration. My people resist. We believe. Connection is strength. Understanding brings true peace. A proximity alert flashed on Sarah's console, another corporate inspection drone making its rounds. She quickly activated the station's stealth protocols, electromagnetic scramblers that would make the drone's readings match historical data. It was yet another piece of unofficial technology she'd developed over the years, originally intended to hide her more experimental mining techniques from corporate oversight. Your technology, Venra observed, watching the drone pass harmlessly by. Crude but creative, unexpected solutions. This is why they fear humans. Sarah turned from the console, startled. They fear us. We've barely left our solar system. Potential. Venra's translator crackled. Humans adapt. Create. Surprise. Hierarchy fears. Unpredictable elements. The alien moved to one of Sarah's workbenches, where components from its damaged ship were spread out. My mission. Warn humanity. Prepare. Before Sarah could ask what they needed to prepare for, her security system pinged again. This time, it wasn't a drone. Security team approaching. She read from the display. Full corporate sweep of all research stations. This isn't normal. Venra's reaction was immediate, moving to gather the alien technology scattered around the station. They know. Hierarchy has agents. In your corporations. Must hide evidence. Sarah's mind raced. Her security measures were good, but a full corporate sweep would include detailed environmental scans. They'd detect any anomalies in air composition, energy signatures, or biological markers. She had minutes at most to conceal all traces of an alien presence. The ice caves, she said suddenly, below the station. They're not on any official maps. She pulled up her private survey data, showing a network of natural caverns she discovered and kept off the corporate grid. The mineral deposits down there create electromagnetic interference. It should mask your presence. Venra processed this quickly, already moving toward the hidden access hatch. You risk much. Why? Sarah began activating emergency cleanup protocols, erasing logs and scrambling data patterns. Because you chose to trust me in that ice tunnel, and because I think humanity needs to hear your warning. The alien paused at the hatch, its translator producing one clear sentence. You are why there is hope. Minutes later, when the corporate security team entered her station, Sarah was calmly analyzing mineral samples. The team's scan revealed nothing unusual, just another dedicated engineer working late. Their questions were routine, though Sarah noted a new undercurrent of tension in their manner. They were looking for something specific but trying not to show it. After they left, Sarah waited 2 hours before retrieving Venra from the caves. The alien emerged clutching something that pulsed with a soft blue light, a device it had assembled from the salvaged ship components while hiding. Time short now, Venra said, placing the device on Sarah's workbench. Must prepare you. This will help. Understand. Understand what? Everything. Venra's translator crackled with intensity. Your species stands at crossroads. Hierarchy comes, not to destroy, to control, to make humanity predictable, safe. Must show them different path. Sarah stared at the pulsing device, its light somehow both inviting and intimidating. What is it? Knowledge. Experience. Accumulated wisdom of resistance. Tool to bridge gap between our kinds. Venra's gestures became more animated. Will change you. Make you. More. But dangerous. Once started, cannot stop. Sarah thought about the corporate security team, about the fear in Venra's voice when speaking of the hierarchy, about humanity's place in a universe suddenly much larger and more complex than anyone had imagined. She reached for the device. "Show me." When Sarah's fingers touched the device, the universe exploded behind her eyes. Knowledge flooded her consciousness in waves of light and sensation. Alien worlds, distant stars, civilizations rising and falling across millennia. She saw the hierarchy's vast network of controlled worlds, entire species bound by invisible chains of technology and ideology. But through it all, she saw something else: resistance, hope, and the power of connection between different beings who chose to trust each other. The initial surge lasted only seconds, but its effects transformed everything. Sarah found herself understanding complex alien mathematics as easily as breathing. Engineering concepts that had taken her years to master now seemed elementary, mere building blocks for ideas that stretched far beyond human current science. Neural pathways. Adapting well, Venre observed, monitoring her response with another salvage device. Your species, remarkable capacity for integration. Sarah barely heard the words. Her attention was caught by the station's environmental systems, which she now realized were operating at barely 60% efficiency. Without conscious thought, she found herself sketching modifications on her tablet. Improvements that would revolutionize life support technology throughout the solar system. Is this normal? She managed to ask, her mind still reeling from the influx of knowledge. This understanding. Each species responds differently, Venre explained. Humans, unique neural plasticity. You not just learn, you innovate, combine concepts in new ways. A warning flashed across Sarah's enhanced perception. Subtle changes in the station's power grid that her normal systems hadn't detected. We have company, she said, understanding the patterns with newfound clarity. Not corporate this time. Different energy signatures. Venre's posture shifted to one of alert tension. Hierarchy scouts. Faster than expected. They trace energy signature from device. Sarah's augmented mind raced through possibilities, calculating odds and outcomes with impossible speed. The ice caves won't hide us this time. But maybe. She pulled up schematics of Europa's deeper tunnel systems, seeing them with new understanding. There's a network of natural quantum entanglement points in the deeper ice. The mineral deposits aren't random. They're part of a larger pattern. Yes, Venre confirmed, moving to examine her calculations. Europa. Ancient outpost. Abandoned millennia ago. Quantum network dormant, but could be reactivated. Sarah's fingers flew over her console, applying her new knowledge to map the quantum pathways. If we can power up even a small section, it would mask our signatures, make us invisible to their sensors. She paused, realizing something else, and maybe give us a way to warn others. The station's alerts became more urgent. Multiple ships were descending through Europa's atmosphere, their energy signatures matching nothing in human databases, but crystal clear to Sarah's enhanced perception. Time limited, Venre urged. Hierarchy ships, carrying suppression units, will blanket area in damping field, cut off all unauthorized quantum communications. Sarah grabbed her emergency pack and began loading it with essential equipment. Then we move now. There's a major entanglement node about 2 kilometers down. I never understood what I was seeing in those scans before, but now. She smiled, feeling the surge of excitement despite the danger. Now I know exactly what we're looking for. They moved quickly through the hidden access tunnels, Sarah's new abilities allowing her to navigate the complex network with unprecedented accuracy. The device had done more than dump information into her mind. It had fundamentally altered how she processed reality. She could see the quantum fluctuations in the ice around them, understand the complex mathematics of probability and possibility that governed their movement through space-time. Others like you, she said as they descended, pieces clicking into place in her mind. The resistance. You share knowledge this way. Create networks of understanding across species. Yes, Venre confirmed. Knowledge, connection, breaks hierarchy's power. They control through isolation, through fear of difference. When species truly understand each other, they can't be controlled, Sarah finished, because they see beyond their own limitations, beyond the barriers the hierarchy creates. A distant rumble shook the tunnel. Hierarchy ships landing on the surface. Sarah could feel their impact rippling through the quantum field, disturbing patterns that had lain dormant for thousands of years. They'll detect the quantum disturbances, she realized. They'll know exactly where we're heading. Yes, Venra agreed, but they not expect human innovation. Your mind already seeing new patterns, new possibilities. Sarah nodded, understanding flowing through her enhanced consciousness. The ancient quantum network wasn't just a hiding place. It was a weapon. One that, properly understood and modified, could do more than just mask their presence. It could send a message that even the hierarchy couldn't suppress. "We're going to wake up Europa," she said, the plan crystallizing in her mind. Not just the quantum network, the whole system. All the dormant technology left behind by whoever built this place. She looked at Venra, seeing approval in the alien's expression. "And we're going to show humanity exactly what they're up against and what they're capable of becoming." The tunnel ahead glowed with quantum possibilities, each path a potential future. Sarah Chen, augmented by alien knowledge but still fundamentally human, led the way into the unknown. Above them, the hierarchy's forces gathered, bringing their tools of suppression and control. But they didn't understand what they were truly facing. A combination of human adaptability and alien wisdom that was about to change everything. The quantum node chamber was massive, a perfect sphere carved from Europa's ice ends ago. Sarah's enhanced perception revealed the geometric patterns etched into the walls. Not decorative, but functional. Each line was a superconducting pathway, designed to channel and amplify quantum effects throughout the moon's crystalline structure. "This is incredible," Sarah breathed, her augmented mind processing the engineering feat before her. The entire moon is a quantum computer. The ice deposits, the mineral veins, it's all part of a massive calculation engine. Venera moved to an ancient control interface, its surface dark with millennia of dormancy. Builders, far beyond even hierarchy technology, left networks across galaxy, waiting. Waiting for what? Species ready to use them. To connect. Venera's translator crackled with emphasis. Hierarchy found some corrupted purpose, used for control instead of growth. The chamber trembled as another wave of ships entered Europa's atmosphere. Sarah could feel the suppression field they were generating. A technological blanket designed to dampen unauthorized quantum effects. But they didn't understand what they were dealing with. Not really. "They think too linearly," Sarah said, her hands moving across the control interface with instinctive understanding. "They see these networks as tools for communication, for faster-than-light travel. But there's so much more." Her consciousness expanded through the awakening systems, seeing connections that span not just space, but probability itself. "Sarah," Venera warned, "hierarchy forces, entering tunnel system. Multiple vectors. Let them come." Sarah didn't look up from her work. "I understand now. Why your people chose Earth, chose humanity. We're not just adaptable. We're quantum observers on a macro scale. Every human choice, every decision, collapses quantum possibilities into reality. We're natural interfaces for this technology." The chamber's ancient systems hummed to life, responding to her thoughts. The geometric patterns began to glow with an inner light, each line a thread in a vast computational tapestry. Through her enhanced senses, Sarah could feel the quantum network spreading, following the natural pathways through Europa's ice. Corporate security systems detecting anomalies, she noted, monitoring the colony's communications. They're evacuating non-essential personnel. Good. This could get messy. The first hierarchy troops reached the outer chambers. Sarah could sense their presence through the quantum field. Beings encased in technology designed to suppress and control, their own natural quantum signatures muted and regulated. Time to show them something new, she said, initiating the sequence she'd designed. The quantum network pulsed, and suddenly every piece of human technology in the Europa colony connected to something vast and ancient. Mining drones, communication systems, environmental controls, all of them became extensions of the quantum network, transformed by their interaction with the alien systems. Impossible, one of the hierarchy commanders broadcast, their transmission picked up by the network. The primitives cannot have mastered quantum integration so quickly. Sarah allowed herself a smile. That's their problem. They think mastery means control. She turned to Venra, ready for the next part. The alien's gesture was one of affirmation. Your plan. Unexpected. Dangerous. Perfect. The hierarchy forces had reached the inner chambers now, their weapons charging with deadly intent. But Sarah wasn't worried. She'd already won. They just didn't know it yet. This is Dr. Sarah Chen. She broadcasts through every communication system in the colony, her words carried by both conventional signals and quantum entanglement. To all corporate personnel and our uninvited guests, welcome to the awakening of Europa. She activated the final sequence. The quantum network blazed with power, not just through the engineered pathways, but through every crystal of ice in Europa's crust. The moon itself became a vast quantum transmitter, broadcasting on frequencies the hierarchy couldn't suppress. And what it broadcast was truth, untainted, unfiltered knowledge flowing directly into the minds of every human in the colony. They saw the hierarchy for what it was. They understood the choice humanity faced. And most importantly, they felt their own potential, their natural ability to interface with the quantum reality that undergirded the universe. Fascinating species, Venra observed as chaos erupted throughout the colony. First reaction to expanded consciousness is to share it. Of course, Sarah replied, watching through the network as humans began instinctively interfacing with the ancient systems, their natural quantum observation abilities amplified by the awakened technology. That's why the hierarchy fears us. We don't hoard knowledge or use it for control. We innovate, we adapt, and most importantly, we connect. The hierarchy forces found themselves facing not just two rebels, but an entire colony of humans suddenly aware of their own quantum potential. Mining drones reprogrammed themselves on the fly, corporate security systems developed consciousness, and every piece of human technology began operating in ways their creators had never imagined. You must understand, Sarah broadcast to the hierarchy commanders, this isn't just a rebellion. It's evolution. You tried to suppress quantum connections between species, to maintain order through isolation. But you forgot something fundamental about humanity. She felt rather than saw the hierarchy ships beginning emergency launch sequences, retreating from the quantum awakening they couldn't contain. We don't just adapt to change, she continued, her consciousness expanding through the network. We cause it. We're quantum observers who refuse to be bound by probability. We make the impossible not just possible, but inevitable. Venra's translator produced a sound that might have been laughter. Hierarchy not expect this. Quantum awakening. Supposed to take centuries. Careful control. You do it in minutes. That's because they think in terms of control, Sarah replied, her mind dancing through quantum possibilities. We think in terms of connection. She paused, sensing something vast stirring in the quantum network. And I don't think Europa is the only moon with dormant systems, is it? No, Venra confirmed. Entire solar system. Waiting. Ready. Sarah smiled as she felt the quantum ripples spreading, carrying the signal of awakening beyond Europa. Humanity's first step into a larger universe wouldn't be marked by ships crossing the void between stars, but by consciousness expanding beyond the boundaries of conventional spacetime. They'll be back, she said, watching the last hierarchy ships flee. With bigger weapons, stronger suppression fields. Yes, Venra agreed, but they find different humanity when return. Connected, awakened, ready. The quantum network hummed with potential, carrying the thoughts and discoveries of thousands of newly awakened human minds. Sarah Chen, who had started this day as a simple mining engineer, stood at the center of it all, feeling the future reshape itself around the choices they had made. The real work was just beginning. 3 months after Europa's awakening, Sarah stood in the observation dome of the newly established Quantum Integration Center, watching ships arrive from across the solar system. Each vessel carried scientists, engineers, and dreamers, all drawn to the revolution that had begun in Europa's ice. The quantum network now spanned every major settlement in the solar system, transforming human civilization in ways no one could have predicted. Mars Colony reporting successful activation of their quantum node, a technician announced. That makes 13 major nodes operational across the system. Sarah nodded, her enhanced consciousness easily tracking the complex web of quantum connections that now linked humanity's outposts. Each awakened node brought new discoveries, new possibilities, and new minds into the growing network of shared knowledge and experience. Hierarchy fleet detected at system's edge, another operator reported. Standard observation pattern. No aggressive movements. They're studying us, Sarah said, feeling Venra's presence behind her, trying to understand what they created by trying to stop us. The alien resistance leader had become Earth's first official extraterrestrial ambassador, though that title barely scratched the surface of what their partnership had achieved. Hierarchy confusion. Understandable. Venra's translator had evolved along with everything else, becoming more nuanced. They sought to prevent quantum integration. Instead, accelerated process beyond all projections. Sarah smiled, remembering the chaos of those first few weeks after the awakening. The world's governments had initially panicked at the revelation of alien life and ancient technology, but the truth carried by the quantum network couldn't be suppressed or denied. Humanity faced a choice: retreat in fear or embrace their newfound potential. They chose to leap forward. Latest synthesis results are ready, a young researcher approached, her mind already connected to Sarah's through the network. The quantum integration allowed for instant sharing of complex concepts, but humanity had quickly learned to maintain verbal communication as well. It helped them remember their individuality within the growing collective consciousness. Sarah expanded her awareness to examine the data. The researchers' team had been combining hierarchy suppression technology, gleaned from the equipment they'd abandoned in their retreat, with human innovation and the ancient builders' quantum systems. The results were extraordinary. We're not just replicating their technology, Sarah observed. We're transforming it, taking systems designed to control and turning them into tools for connection. Human specialty, Venra noted, finding new paths, unexpected solutions. A flash of quantum activity caught Sarah's attention. Another node was awakening, this one deep within Mercury's crust. But something was different about this activation. The patterns were unlike anything they'd seen before. It's not just activating, Sarah realized, her enhanced mind racing through the implications. It's evolving. The entire network is evolving with us. The observation dome filled with holographic displays as every sensor focused on the Mercury node. The quantum patterns it was generating weren't following any known template. They were creating new configurations, new possibilities that even the ancient builders hadn't envisioned. This is what the builders intended. Venra's translator conveyed excitement. Not preservation of their technology. Evolution. Growth. Each species adding own patterns to network. Sarah watched as the new quantum configurations spread through the solar system, human consciousness, and ancient technology, merging to create something entirely new. The hierarchy had sought to prevent this very thing, seeing it as a threat to their ordered universe. They hadn't understood that the chaos of evolution, of genuine connection between different species and technologies, was the universe's natural state. We're receiving transmissions, a communications officer announced. Deep space, far beyond anything we've detected before. The quantum network came alive with new signals. Other species, other civilizations that had achieved their own awakening. Some had been in hiding from the hierarchy, Others had been slowly developing their quantum potential over centuries. All of them had felt the ripples of humanity's quantum leap. They're not just signals, Sarah understood, her consciousness expanding to embrace the new connections. They're invitations, the other resistance cells, the free quantum civilizations. They want to link networks. Dangerous, Venera cautioned, but Sarah sensed anticipation rather than fear in the aliens' response. Hierarchy will see gathering of quantum civilizations as ultimate threat. Good, Sarah replied, already reaching out through the network to accept the first connections. Because that's exactly what we are. Not through weapons or armies, but through understanding. Through connection. The observation dome's displays showed the hierarchy ships at the system's edge beginning to move, finally breaking their pattern of passive observation. But Sarah wasn't concerned. Humanity had changed too much, grown too quickly for their old tactics of suppression and control to work. Send a message to all colonies and settlements, she instructed, feeling the support of countless minds through the network. Tell them the real voyage is about to begin. As the quantum networks of multiple civilizations began to synchronize and merge, Sarah felt the future shifting once again. Humanity had moved from its first tentative steps into space to quantum consciousness in less than a century. What they would become in another 100 years, another 1,000, was beyond even her enhanced ability to predict. You know, she said to Venera, watching the new quantum patterns dance across the displays, when you were chained in that ice cave, did you ever imagine it would lead to this? The aliens' response came not through the translator, but directly through their shared quantum connection, a complex mixture of hope, pride, and unwavering faith in the power of different species to transform each other. Above them, the solar system blazed with quantum fire as humanity reached out to touch minds and share dreams with civilizations across the galaxy. The hierarchy's ships hung at the edge of this transformation, facing a choice of their own. Adapt or become relics of a past that humanity and its allies had already outgrown. Sarah Chen, who had begun this journey by making one simple choice to help someone in need, stood at the heart of it all. She felt the quantum network pulse with the combined potential of multiple species and ancient technologies, all evolving together into something the universe had never seen before. The real work wasn't just beginning anymore. It was everywhere. And it would never end.